Okay, at this point we got everything, excuse me, all the stuff on the exterior of the bike pretty well checked and double checked, so now I'm going to concentrate on getting the thing to run. So right now we need to figure out what's going on with the carburetor. Obviously they've been in here because it's not connected. The mounting system here basically sucks. It's not really mounted correctly, don't know why. They got a window spacer in here that's moving it all out for some reason, not sure why. So I don't know why they're not using the S&S backing plate. The one on there's been cut or broken off. I'm not sure what's going on with that. And then the other thing is we got to put ignition in it. So I got the whole ignition kit right here from Ultima. I got a new petcock to stop the oil leakage, and we got a new battery on the floor that just got charged up all the way. The green light came on over there on my little mini charger over there. So there we go. So I only got one style battery, which is the early one, which should be what's in this bike. So either way, the cables are long enough, we can do whatever we need under here. Oh, I gotta go find me a rubber tray to go in there. I think there's one in the truck. I think I had one in the SUV I threw out there. I'll go out and look for that here in a minute. So basically right now I'm gonna take the carburetor apart and I'll just disassemble it and see what's going on with it. And that gives me room to get to the other side of the bike and get the coil out, swapped out, do the motor mount check and all that stuff. So just get this junk out of our way. Saves you the most time, just get the junk out of the way. Alright, so. Now if you put all your hardware in one spot, you don't lose it. So put it kind of out of the way. So usually by the rear wheel or front wheel works really well. Shows evidence of a lot of spitfiring and blowing back. So that usually means the jetting is lean or the ignition's the wrong spot and it's firing for whatever reason. Alright, so we know there might be some issues there. Allen's in this thing. They actually were tight, kind of tight, not really tight. You definitely want to make sure you got Loctite on your hardware. I'm not a big fan of lock washers, especially cheap ass crappy import ones like these that do absolutely nothing. They have no torquing to them, they just soft butter, they don't do anything. So if you're going to put a lock washer in there, put a good one on it. The lock washer won't come out, so it's probably a better one. It's still not a very thick one. It's another cheap ass one. See how there's almost no more lock washer going on? That's because it's not a lock washer. It's just a AN washer. So that doesn't really do anything for you. It spreads the load out, which is good if you have Loctite on it, but you gotta have Loctite on it to make it work. This one has a little thin lock washer on it again. So when you look at stuff when you take it apart, you get an idea of the quality of the people that have been working on it in the past. Alright, so these are the mounting brackets that should be used for the Evo. So it looks like they've been cut off. You can tell they're cut because they're straight linear marks. They're not broken off. So they cut the ears off for some reason. And this was a mounting bolt that I guess they just let rattle. There might have been some kind of bracket at one time. Okay, now I got the air cleaner off, I can actually see there is a mounting bracket on the bike. It's right back there. It's got the old style version where it comes off your top center bolt up the carburetor. So the carburetor is supported in that location, so you do not need to run ears on your air cleaner. And they do have the breather and it breathes through here. So, but if you're going to do a breather like this, at least run it to the back of the bike so it blows out the back and not all into the tranny. Okay, there's your choke right there. Okay, so this system does work. Now the reason I spaced the carburetor out is probably because the air cleaner was hitting on the breather bolts. So, me, I would notch the air cleaner to clear the bolts and move the whole thing in the inch you need. Now there's no insulating block in here. Normally you have an insulating block in here for temperature, for heat. So they're not running that on this carburetor. So they just put this big spacer in here. There used to be a Vose switch fitting right here. They just put a bolt in the hole. So you gotta make sure that's not leaking when they do stuff like that. Alright, so I don't know why they got all this disconnected, because everything looks like it's done correctly so far once you get in there and see it. Now that would be a problem right there. Okay, see that vacuum plug right there? When they're split like that, they don't really stock air leakage. So there's a big vacuum leak right there. So that would explain a lot of backfiring. That's why the air cleaner was crappy. So normally the Vose switch would connect to this. Now if you're not going to use the Vose switch, usually what I do is I plug up the hole with solder. And then you know it's never going to leak again, because rubber gets old and cracks like that one, and then it doesn't work. So if you're not going to run a Vose in it, just plug a hole up with solder. Works real good. So I don't know why they got a hole in there for. I'm going to run a damn Thunderjet on this thing or something. Okay, so we got one problem here for sure there that needs to be fixed. So everything else so far is looking okay. Okay, so now let's get the coil out of the way. When I get the coil out of the way, I got access to the two bolts here real easy. Otherwise, I got to fight it a little bit. Now the carburetor's not all full of black in here, so that shows it's not been spitting out too bad. If it was all black in there, that means it'd be spitting everywhere. Backfiring. Okay, what do we got over here? Allen's again. My favorite. Yeah, right. Okay, just go on the other side of the bike here. Bolt's fine. Back here are tight. I feel like they might have a little Loctite on too. I don't know if this coil's good or not, so we're putting a new one on it. Comes in the kit. Okay, now I got access to my bolt head here. Pretty tight. Live with that. Okay, now we have access to the manifold bolts underneath. Right here. One there, one here. Whose manifold has a big rib like that in it? I don't know who makes that manifold. Some unknown vendor. Yeah, I've never seen that one before. Got reinforcement ribs all around it there to make it a lot stronger. It looks good so far on the outside. I wonder what the inside looks like. The inside is more important than the stupid outside is. Okay, I gotta get the right tool for doing this. Bigger than it should be. Next size up. Oh, that's because these are 3/8 bolts, not 5/16. That was my mistake. They have a lot of something on them. Loctite or binding up or something. Okay, before you let the carburetor drop in the ground, go ahead and hold on to it. Alright, there's a carburetor. So now take this thing outside and dump it on the ground if there's anything to dump out of it. We'll see. Appears to be dry. Nothing's coming out of it. Now you look at it and see what you see. If you see a lot of black muck on it, that's not a good sign. That means it's been backfiring a lot. This one here's got something around the blade here. So I don't know if that's got oil residue or dirt or what's in there. See how the disc is all black right on the edge? It's a lot of burnt carbon. Like that. Definitely got a heavy spring on it. Yeah, it got me. Got my shirt. Yeah, new hole in my shirt. So much for being a new shirt. Harleys don't like us. Alright, so overall it's been running halfway decent, but it's got a lot of blowback carbon on it. So we can go through this here in a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and look inside the manifold. See what we got over here. Just tells you what's going on in the motor. I'm not a big fan of these big spacers on here. Rather not be using this. See a lot of backfiring because it's all black. No oil in there, it's all carbon. You put your finger in there, there's almost no oil residue at all in there. There's nothing on the back one. On the back side here in the dead area, there's a little bit of wet, not a, I wouldn't call it wetness, I call it goo. Like tar in there, and that's it. So we know the motor's in good condition, just know the carburetion's a little off. Which, like I said, you got that built-in air leak already. This here is not doing much here when you can unscrew some fingers. So I'm not sure what the plan was for that, but that's another air leak. Looks like it comes threaded, but if you don't tighten it down, it doesn't stay tight. So it looks like it has a rubber on it here or something. And the rubber probably gave up and the thread got loose. So we'll put a little dab of Loctite on that. The Loctite will seal the thread a little bit and keep it tight. So that should be fine. Alright, this all looks okay. Not sure the condition of the manifold seals up in here. Custom made bolts because they're so long. Everything looks like it's okay on that respect. Okay. I don't know if I got tools here to take that manifold off right now. There's lots and lots of tools that are missing right now, so I've only got certain ones here. I'm not seeing the ones I need. The ones I need have bends in them. That's too small, I think. Yeah, metric probably. Yeah, oh well. don't have the tools I need, so I don't see anything laying around I've dug out yet. Lots of missing stuff still. So I'm not really supposed to be working on bikes at all right now, so we'll have to leave that alone for now. I don't have what I need. Don't feel like making new ones up. I already own a bunch of them. Okay, so I'm going to go see if I can find me a correct air cleaner backing plate and get rid of this stupid stuff here. Go back into an internal motor system like it's supposed to be, instead of using that. If I can't find what I need, then we'll go ahead and put all this back together the way it was. Now this, I guarantee you this was a leaker because there's no O-ring on this, and that was right up against that, so there's no seal. So once again, there's no seal on anything. So that's a big leaker. And the carburetor over here. So you feel the rubber, it should be soft. This one feels soft, and it needs to be above the surface. So when you run your finger over, you should feel it sticking up. If you can't feel anything with your stupid fingers, then grab something flat like a straight edge. My ruler right here. And you see the gap above the, right here between the gasket and this. See how I push it down, it goes out. So that means the rubber's sticking up about 10 thou above the surface. That's what your seal is. So that's what you want to see, a nice, soft, compliable rubber that will seal. Alright, so they have one there. They had a leak here. They had a leak here, big leak there, and then you had a leak here. So you had 3 leaks on this motor. That's probably why it wouldn't run very well. The carburation down low would be horrible. When idle for squat, and your low speed circuit would be horrible. Probably why they didn't ride the bike much. Okay. Now this over here, I gotta go find me the rubber that goes in here. Got a leather belt holding it on, which is fine, it works, no big deal. I don't like how the cable's eating on the down in here. That could be a big fire, so just a little more protection on that. Okay, I got a list of stuff I need to go find, so time to go on the hunt. I'll be back.